Hey everyone, and welcome back. So, two different proposals are currently on the table that involve increases for all Social Security recipients next year in 2026. One would involve an increase of $1,200. The other proposal would be an increase of $1,400. In today's video, we're going to be covering both proposals and everything that you need to know. But before we go ahead and dive into for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into it for today. So next year in 2026, there are currently two different proposals on the table that would involve increases to Social Security, which you're currently receiving. One of them would be an increase of $1,200. The other one would be an increase of $1,400. Now, the $1,400 one would actually be a one-time stimulus check, whereas the other one of $1,200 would be spread out over the course of 6 months as far as your increase goes. So we're going to be diving into both of these proposals in today's video. And leave your thoughts and comments below. Which of these do you like the best? Obviously, $1,400 is more, but $1,200 is also a little bit different. Might be psychologically different if you think about it that way. So first off, of course, we're going to dive into this idea. It would be a $1,400 stimulus check. This is from the Senior Citizens League. They recently had an open letter to President Trump and Congress. So they said, "Dear President Trump and members of Congress, today's announcement of the 2026 Social Security cost of living adjustment falls far short of what seniors need. The Senior Citizens League research shows that 80% of retirees believe that inflation has been significantly higher than the government's recent COLA figures. Millions of Social Security beneficiaries are struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, housing, and medicine. Inflation has hit fixed income Americans the hardest, and a one-time $1,400 relief payment would provide critical and immediate support. It's been done before." So, of course, before we go on further here, what do you think about $1,400? Do you think that would be enough to make up for the lack of, substantial COLAs? 2026, next year, 2.8%. A lot of people are arguing that's not going to be enough to actually keep up with inflation. Of course, this year's COLA of 2.5%, we also have a lot of people arguing that also was not enough. So with that said, is $1,400, a one-time check of $1,400, would you consider that to be enough to make up for the lack of, once again, substantial COLAs over the past several years? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Now, some examples that they're giving, what, something similar has happened over the past few years. So back in 2008, the Economic Stimulus Act provided a $300 to $600 relief payment to seniors receiving Social Security. So once again, this has been done before. Then, of course, back in 2020, most recently, the CARES Act delivered direct payments to millions of Social Security recipients across the nation. You've often spoken about protecting seniors and honoring their lifetime of hard work. Now it's time to turn those words into action and provide meaningful relief. Millions of seniors are struggling to make ends meet. No one who helped build this nation should have to choose between food and medicine. We urge you to act now. Support a $1,400 relief payment for Social Security beneficiaries. Sincerely, concerned citizens advocating for America's seniors." And of course, there is a petition currently on their website. If you go to the Senior Citizens League website, they do have a petition to Congress to provide a $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. They say that the Senior Citizens League is calling on Congress to take urgent action and provide a one-time $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients, with the cost of living adjustment falling short of real inflation seniors face, especially on essentials like food, housing, and healthcare. Millions of older Americans are struggling to make ends meet. Seniors living on fixed incomes can't afford to keep falling behind. That's why TSCL is urging lawmakers to step up and provide direct relief to help offset the inadequate COLA, and protect older Americans from further financial hardship. And they have a great point there. Whenever Trump was running for president, and even after he was elected, he promised to protect Social Security beneficiaries and those who worked hard their entire lives to qualify for Social Security benefits. And what better way to really back those words and to also urge Congress to pass a bill onto his desk for a one-time check, whether it be $1,400 or possibly even more than that. Again, leave your thoughts and comments below. Now, speaking of Congress, a bill that they currently actually have in Congress and may actually possibly be voted on very soon would actually be a $1,200 increase for Social Security across the board. Now, this would actually not be a stimulus check. It would not be a lump sum payment of $1,200 like the Senior Citizens League is advocating for, a stimulus check of $1,400. Instead, the $1,200 would be spread out over the course of 6 months. So basically, whatever you're receiving now, you'd be receiving $200 more in your check every single month. Next year in 2026, it would not be permanent. Instead, it would only be for 6 months, so $200 more per month. Spread over 6 months, that is $1,200 extra. And even though $1,200 is less than $1,400, just psychologically speaking, maybe receiving an extra $200 per month over 6 months might actually be better, because receiving $1,400 all at once, a lot of people might be, falling into the trap or temptation of going out and spending that money all at once, whereas an additional $200 per month over 6 months, even though it's less than $1,400, you're not exactly going to fall into this big payment where you might be more tempted to go out and spend it all at once. But once again, leave your thoughts and comments below about that. But according to the 401k specialist, in the wake of the recent announcement that there will be a 2.8% Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2026, just an additional $56 per month on average, a group of Senate Democrats recently introduced the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act, which would expand Social Security and Veterans Affairs benefits by $200 per month for 6 months. He said, quote, Trump campaigned on lowering costs, but all he has done is raise tariffs, slash healthcare benefits, and sabotage energy projects, increasing prices on everything from groceries to electricity, Schumer said. Seniors face difficult decisions as they see their bank accounts shrinking, and the Social Security cost of living adjustment is simply not reflective of the current reality. He says, I urge Republicans to join with us to help offset the cost of Trump's inflationary trade war and give seniors the money they deserve. Now, with no bipartisan support, the bill faces long odds of advancing in the Republican-controlled chamber. This despite polling from Data for Progress showing the proposal is overwhelmingly popular with voters across party lines, with support from 82% of Democrats, 81% of independents, and actually more Republicans support this idea at 84%. So we have just 82% of Democrats supporting this idea, which is a lot of Democrats supporting the idea, but even more Republicans, 84% of Republicans are in support of this idea. Now, I think the wording of this is a little bit off here, and it's probably going to make, Republicans in Congress less likely to actually pass it. And of course, Trump also not to really push members of Congress. The way they're wording it, saying to help offset Trump's inflation, kind of pitting this whole thing against Trump and Republicans. If they were just to, word it saying that, Social Security beneficiaries need this extra money to help get by, it's going to be very helpful for them. But at the same time, not bashing Republicans and not bashing Trump, when at the same time they know that they need Republicans and Trump to pass it, it would have, a much higher likelihood, of having bipartisan support. That's just what I think. But of course, leave your thoughts and comments below. Now they go on here to say that the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act would provide relief to Americans living on a fixed income by providing a $200 per month emergency increase to Social Security checks until July 2026. It would also support all Title II Social Security beneficiaries, supplemental security income beneficiaries, railroad retirement beneficiaries, veteran disability compensation, and veteran pension benefit annuitants. In a press release announcing the bill's introduction mentioned that half of all American seniors rely on Social Security for half of their income, while Social Security is the sole source of income for one in every 4 seniors. Due to stringent eligibility requirements, SSI and Social Security disability insurance benefits are even more likely to be the sole source of income for their beneficiaries. Over half of seniors' monthly spending is on housing, food, and transportation, all basic necessities that the bill sponsors say are only becoming less affordable in Trump's economy. So again, leave your thoughts and comments below. What would you think about an additional $200 per month for the next 6 months, as opposed to just a one-time lump sum $1,400 check? Which of these would you prefer? Leave your thoughts and comments below. But that's all we have for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.